Welcome to the Manage International Conference on Agricultural Extension and Advisory Services, Innovation to Impact. And today with us, we are having one of the renowned extension scientists from Michigan State University, Professor Murari Suvedi. He has extensive experience in agricultural extension and rural development. Professor Suvedi teaches research methods and program evaluation at Michigan State University. He has extensive experience in evaluating international agricultural development projects on food security, rural development and policies also. He served as Michigan State University extension evaluation specialist for over 10 years. And he developed and coordinated Michigan State University's semester-long study in abroad program in Nepal, Thailand, and facilitated the partnership between Michigan State University and Tokyo University of Agriculture, Japan. He served as Fulbright Senior Specialist and the US Scholar to Nepal and Cambodia. He received the Fulbright Regional Research Scholar Grant for South and Central Asia region, comprising of India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, where he conducted an assessment of core competencies for agricultural extension professionals. He has conducted project development evaluation workshops to the agricultural developmental professionals in Cambodia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Mexico, India, and Nepal. And he evaluated the impact of USAID's Feed the Future project in Cambodia and facilitated the development of Cambodia agricultural extension policy and its implementation plan. He has an ongoing action research on off-season vegetable production for food and nutrition security in Nepal. He provided leadership in strengthening linkages between agricultural research and agricultural extension in Malawi through USAID Feed the Future funding. And today with us to talk about improving agricultural extension through undergraduate curriculum, revitalization in South Asia. And on behalf of Manage, I welcome Professor Murari Suvedi. He is a very good friend of Manage and is very much part of our 2018. We had it is a time to change, and there is a Manage and University Alliance we formed there. Murari Suvedi was there to talk about what are the changes are needed in the agricultural curriculum. And based on his Fulbright work in these three countries, today he is going to discuss with us improving agricultural extension through undergraduate curriculum, revitalization South Asia. I welcome on behalf of Manage and all the participants, I welcome Professor Murari Suvedi for today's invited talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saravanan. Good evening to you all. Greetings from Michigan State University. I am presenting this paper, a kind of a lecture online. This is my second or third international online conference. So if in case there are any glitch, I will read the chat room frequently, and then please let me know. Good evening to you all. This is what the work we will present is improving agriculture extension through undergraduate curriculum revitalization in South Asia. I did conducted a research in collaboration with Professor P.V.K. Shashidhar of School of Extension and Development Studies at IGNU, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Professor Shashidhar and me, we are equally responsible for any kind of oversight or something on this project. This project was funded by US government Fulbright program. So I spent some time in Sri Lanka, in India, and Nepal, and let me present what we found. Okay, how do I move next?
You can scroll down, sir.
Good. The objectives. I am presenting a major study findings. The objectives are, as Dr. Saravanan said, in 2018, it was the Manage Conference, Time to Change, Time for Change. A major workshop was held. Then that was kind of keeping my mind, what can we do? What is the real need? So I thought, why don't we go about and find out what are the important job skills and competencies required by the new generation of extension people, the new generation of today? What do they need? What are the extent? We also want to determine the extent to which these essential job skills and competencies are covered in our undergraduate curriculum. Means, is there a gap or not? We wanted to find out. And we want to find out also ascertain the barriers of how can we, what are the barriers to effectively train extension workers in these competencies. These were the three simple objectives. We had two components of this research. Today I will present the online survey results. Online survey we conducted in India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. We invited the teaching faculties, research, and extension and administration professionals in all these three countries. It was an extensive survey. Many of you might have participated in this survey. Altogether, we received 637 completed surveys. Although not all people provided some of their demographic questions they did not answer, but overall, this is our population that we are using to present the findings in this study. The people, those 637 people, 67% came from India, about 20% from Sri Lanka, and 14% from Nepal. In terms of age groups, they were young, just young graduates to almost people who have retired or at the retirement age. You know, the distribution was very well represented. In terms of gender, we had a good mix of male and female respondents. Again, 2/3 were male, 1/3 were female. In terms of educational qualifications, there were few people who had a diploma or a kind of a certificate, kind of associate degree, and quite a few of them, majority in our sample, had a PhD degree, about 44%. There were some other qualifications, various degree titles and others in these countries, about 1/10 of some other form of academic degrees. In terms of work experience, majority of the people were young because it was, we are so happy that we want to know what are the process skills and competencies required by the present generation of extension workers. And we had a good representation, almost half of them were 10 years or less in terms of work experience. You might also ask, where do they come from? Majority of them, about 1/3, almost 30%, came from state agriculture or veterinary or fishery universities. Then the second largest group was Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry or Fisheries Department. We also had people from central universities, representing some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, private companies, and others. Let me present very briefly about what did we ask. Through our literature review, when we designed the instrument, we had about 8 different areas of process skills and competencies. One of the area was program planning skills and competencies. And specifically, we asked these questions. Are you familiar? How important it is, to be familiar with the vision, missions, and goals of extension service. We asked 2 questions. How important it is on a 1 to 5 scale? Not important was 1. essential skill is classified as 5. On a 1 to 5 scale, we ask them how essential are those skills. Okay. Then you can see the findings. The blue line always represents how important it is. The red line, red bar line, says how well it is covered in our undergraduate courses. 5 means extremely well covered. 1 means not at all covered. 3 means moderately covered. You can see the findings. The blue bar is always much stronger, means they are very important skills and competencies. The red bar indicates that how well they were addressed or covered in the curriculum. Yes, they were covered, but there was a gap. You can see it. I can present the statistical test using t-test or paired t, but I don't want to go too much on in terms of the statistics now. For example, here on program planning, are you able to, how important it is to engage stakeholders to prioritize local needs? It is very important. 4.36 is the average score. How well it is covered in the curriculum? 2.71 means less than moderately well covered. By the way, this is the overall for all 3 countries, India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. The second skill was on, let me see. The second skill is in program implementation skills. Again, we listed, you can see on the left-hand side, what are the specific skills we asked. Again, when it comes to program implementation, how to implement it, how to work with the stakeholders, how to work with the clientele, these skills are covered, of course, but the gap between how important these skills are and how well covered in our undergraduate curriculum, there is a clear gap. The third area was communication skills. All extension workers, essentially, we are engaged in communication, respecting the local culture to conducting some good public speaking skills. Those are the 6 various communication skills we found very essential or important. But whether they are covered, how well they are covered in our undergraduate curriculum, again, there was a gap we found. This morning, earlier sessions, you heard about ICTs, how important this is, and the technology we are using today also shows how important are these ICTs in terms of communication. All these skills were rated very important and essential, I will say. The importance means they are essential. The coverage, by the way, among all the competencies areas, this area was well covered overall, moderately covered. This is maybe some university may have very high coverage, some countries, others, but overall, there is a gap. The gap is significantly different gap between the importance and the coverage, level of coverage, in other words. Program evaluation skills and competencies, we group about 7 or 8 of these skills, process skills and competencies. All skills were considered essential towards the 5, almost 5, 4.37 or higher. When it comes to how well it is covered, again, there was a big gap. For example, conducting evaluation, sharing the evaluation results with organization, their skill was one of the lowest. So how do we minimize this gap is a major concern, so we found. Personal and professional skills and competencies. are also essential, and we ask them, how important are these skills? Practicing principles of good governance. Is it essential? Yes. It is very highly important topic. Show the commitment to career development, attend in-service training, professional meetings and seminars, improving yourself, your ethical, your technical, and other competencies. These are the areas which are very important. But are we covering these skills in our curriculum? Yes, we are covering. But again, you can see the gap. You can see the mean scores and determine the gap. Diversity and gender skill was another area. We live in a society, we have different ethnic groups, caste system, majority, minority, Dalits, non-Dalits, all kind of farmers, semi-urban, urban, rural differences, all kind of things. So how important are the diversity skills or male, female, gender skills? Yes, it is very important. The knowledge is essential. These are essential skills for an extension worker. But are we teaching these skills in our undergraduate curriculum? I think we are teaching. There is some coverage in our curriculum. But again, the ratings on the coverage is low. This is the last group, technical subject matter skills and competencies. These are the skills about crop production, about livestock production, about vegetables and fruit production, fishery, integrated pest management, all different technical subject matter. They are very, very important, more essential. Are we covering them? Yes. In South Asia region, this is the area that our universities, our colleges are doing a great job. We are covering, this is about above moderate, almost well covered, the technical skills. Okay. Understanding the technology, being promoted, fine. Be able to educate community members about different type of risk and uncertainties like climate change, market fluctuations, natural disasters. It is low, only 2.78 on a 1 to 5 scale. It is less than moderately covered. So you can see the gap in our undergraduate curriculum. Now, we asked, Professor Shashidhar and me, we asked what are the barriers to strengthening the agriculture extension curriculum? What are the major barriers? Then the respondents, many of them identified and rated very high is the budget. We have limited money, limited funding. The second is quality of faculty members to teach extension courses. We have hired these assistant professors, but they don't know much about extension. They are not very innovative. That is the kind of concerns. There are shortage of motivation for the teachers. Students are not motivated in practical work, going to the village, going to the field and working and learning. Faculty are not motivated to teach them. There is a inadequate classroom or demonstration facilities, farms. Also, textbook and manuals are also shortage. So these were mentioned as major barriers in the implementation of extension curriculum. Let me tell you one fact, what we learned. One of the major barriers, although we did not write it here, was the attitude of decision makers. Our senior extension officers, directors, deans, or the people, whether they are in New Delhi, Hyderabad, wherever they are, the decision makers, their attitude also is a kind of a barrier to have this process skills and competencies to prepare graduates with these new skills. So we ask them, how can we acquire these core competencies or process skill competencies? These were various methods. Through in-service training means once you start a job, then you get the training was one highly recommended practice. Another suggestion was to have a required internship. Internship with NGOs, internship with public institutions, internship with private companies, like the one agripreneur training of manage. Can we require our undergraduate students to do internship working with the community partners? That was recommended. Another recommendation was induction training. When you get a job, you bring all the new recruits, new staff, and give them a orientation, kind of induction training. Still another one was again revising the curricula, updating the curricula, developing the manuals, lab manuals, textbooks, and improve the workshop. And the last is, to me, very important is opportunities like this one, giving webinars, seminars, participating in national meetings, statewide level meetings. That way, exposing to the new tools, techniques, how to become a better extension worker. That is another suggestion they gave. In terms of our recommendations, we like to share the findings as much as possible. We need to empower our faculty and our administrators that there is a need for change. The most basic thing is we have to teach students, we have to equip them with the right skills, attitudes, and competencies. If we fail that basic knowledge, our colleges and universities are not serving the people as we are expected to serve. So we have to disseminate these findings to various bodies, credit hour requirements and things like that, balance the theory and practical in terms of education. Another important thing is develop faculty. The teaching faculty of agriculture colleges and universities, they need to be retained, I will say. Intensive reorientation should be given to them, motivate them to teach better, and also prepare textbooks and lab manuals, fieldwork guidelines and things, make it available online or in print. So these are some of our recommendations. My 15 minutes is done. Thank you very much. Let me know if you have questions.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. And participants, thank you, Professor, for very exciting presentation, lot of interesting findings. And any questions or any clarifications, and participants can put in the chat box. And you can put in chat box on behalf of you, we'll ask. And Professor, when you are going through all, most of the skills, whatever enlisted, all are going only moderately covered over the most of the countries, 3 countries wherever you had the studies. And again, there is 3 important issues. One is the budget and the quality of extension teachers and their motivation. But it is a perennial problem over the more than 3 decades or more so. We are facing it. Even country like India, we want to retrain, but it takes very difficult. It needs a lot of efforts from all the stakeholders. But we understand there is no there is a felt need from the teaching faculty itself, because in India, if you see, there are large number of conferences, seminars every time it happens. Many times everybody will go. There is a lot of big gathering. There is a get-togethers. But this type of the issues really affects the subject. It is rarely discussed and rarely taken up for how to do like that. There is no clear understanding, or there is no discussion on this. And what do you think about this?
Thank you very much, Saravanan. This is a real issue. One issue is we say there is no resource, but based on my visit to various universities, colleges, it is the will of the administrators and managers. There is resource actually. If we utilize them properly, we can strengthen this very quickly. Faculties, they have been educated, they have good degrees, they have done PhDs, but they were trained in a very traditional mode. We need to teach them how to change their pedagogy. It does not take big resource. The main thing what it will require is to motivate them to teach better. Students, when I went to Nepal or India, they are playing with their iPhone or so much time they spend. Have they practiced anything about public speaking? Have they practiced something about teamwork? Have they visited a community and interacted with a female farmer? Or have they visited to a group, enterprise and then interacted with the entrepreneur?
Okay.
So those are the skills. I mean, more opportunities we need to give to our students, but under the guidance of a trained faculty member. And in my opinion, if there is a will, I have seen India has moved a lot better than before, but like higher education project that you have managed itself, you are a national center of excellence. We need to mobilize our resources to improve these weaknesses. It is just fine-tuning and upgrading. The faculty, I will go. Of textbooks and manuals and field guides, some of them are outdated. We need to rewrite them. We have faculty who are experienced, but they can contribute. We need to motivate them to contribute. So I think we need to cultivate this motivation among ourselves. We need to change the attitude of our senior officers that it is important. Another thing is we also have to collaborate among ourselves, like rural sociology, farm management, agriculture economics, and extension. They all are similar. How can we collaborate each other better? They all are social science, So that is another area we have to work, and it is possible. But let me go ahead. You may have another question.
Yeah, if India, if you see 1960s, we are talking about something technology transfer mostly, even methods or something like posters, demonstrations, something like that. But maybe last 20 years, if you see, there are a lot of developments, something like ICTs or digital tools, the great way they used, and also like farmer producer organizations are coming in the big way. And apart from that, another recent development, if you see, large number of agri entrepreneurs are like startups we call. They are coming something providing solution, something value chain based solution. It is not only advisory, but they are trying to support the farmers along with advisory knowledge, whatever we call, along with that other support services, even facilitating processing, facilitating value addition, and also facilitating the brand their own products and taking to the consumers like that. Today in the field level, if you see, really extension, it is not only talking about something information or knowledge or advisory, but it has all support services, because today somebody can get from website or mobile application. But farmer to really to improve the income, he needs other support services, even credit, how to link the credit facilities, something like that. And when these like ICTs are playing great role, and farmer producer companies like that, there are groups are coming, farmers groups, they are mobilized and they are forming the groups. And these type of private players are coming in the big way for agricultural extension. When we see these type of developments, our curriculum, what are things need to reflect. But even today also, as we rightly told, our curriculum, whatever 60s we were, our professors are studying same thing, still it is in the textbooks. Our today also students are studying. That is the field realities, it is not taken into consideration while there is a course on extension. And what do you think recent over the decades, what are the developments you see in the, because you are widely traveling globally in Asia or African countries, what changes you'll see in the extension?
Thank you. It is a big question, but let me try. I have seen the major changes taking place in India. India is moving very fast. My first visit to India was in the 1970s. What I saw in 1970s, I can hardly see today. The farm looks different. Farmers' residence looks different. Farmers' behavior in terms of walking or plowing the field, everything. Things have changed. So that is good thing. But at the same time, some countries like Cambodia or some Latin American and many African countries, they are way behind. My question is, we have accomplished a lot, but we have to, this morning, Christine Davis brought one issue. There are a lot of ethical issues in India as well as in today's farming. Who is benefiting from all the new technology? From all the IT services? Who is benefiting? You know, who is controlling the wealth? You know, or where is the market for the farmers' produce? Why is these farmers are on strike in New Delhi every day for the last 3 months? What are they looking for? Whose interests are being served? I think we need to teach our younger generations, give them the truth, the message. You know, that is why I said we need to also agricultural economics, farm management colleagues, sociology colleagues, gender specialists and others work as a team. I have seen a lot of hope, but what we need, Dr. Saravanan, is our sincere desire to help the humanity. Very sincere desire. If we can create those kind of professionals who are committed to the rural people or suburban entrepreneurs, you know, that is what we need in this generation. So that commitment, how can we see it? We have to transform the attitude of our superiors, our boss.
Yeah.
They also need to support people like you or me or our young scientists. That is what I feel.
Yeah, it's right, Professor. And also another, it may be very strange. It is not only, it is not to only talk about administrators or faculty teachers, but I see last few years, even students, because today it is not necessarily teacher to need to teach everything. Today, if student having lot of motivation, he can reach in, he can online, he can get lot of resources and process like you globally, there are processes they can reach and they can get. But I see from really in the extension students, there is a motivation is lacking. They are really not motivated themselves. That makes it is not to blame only teachers actually, even because the resources not only need to come from the class teachers, those who are teaching in the courses, MSc or PhD. Once students are completing UG and PG, PhD, if they have really motivated and they can learn from every world is available in online, everything. And but that trend also we are not able to see because students spend a lot of time in other activities online, but not really for academic or professional development or competencies. That also bothers us much. I don't know, Professor, what do you think about this one, and what is your opinion on that? Yeah.
I do not know what the world will look like in 10 years down the road. Last 42 years that I am in extension profession, I have seen lot of changes. This online, the digital world has made the whole world different in terms of learning, in terms of teaching. Okay, of course. But the question is, the digital IT is not the answer for everything. We still need the personal touch. You know, we need to know how to say hello to another person. We need to know how to communicate with a female farmer, sit next to her and then ask her some question so that
Right.
she can answer you.
Right.
So in person, we need to blend this digital and in-person experience.
Yeah.
Ideally, Dr. Saravanan, you can be the lead professor for India. You can cover the most of the content in all colleges and universities through online teaching.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, that's
If
right,
you
Professor.
have 20 other people to help you grade the papers and others. But we need to blend it. We need to give them some in-person experience. But IT is a great asset. Like with this COVID scenario, by the way, my university, I will give you one example. We have about 650 field staff in MSU Extension. Last 10 months, they cannot travel to the farmer's field. They cannot go and hold in-person workshops, seminars. They did virtual field days. I evaluated the virtual field days just last week. All the data, I was cranking the report. What we found out, many farmers really liked the virtual field days. They can attend without leaving their home. They can sit in their couch and look at the TV or the computer and learn. They can see all step by step. The people who program those virtual sessions, they went and videotaped the farmer's field. So yes, virtual is a great opportunity, but we have to motivate our faculty to use the technology correctly, to blend it with some form of in-person contact. Of course, we can accomplish a lot.
Yeah, thank you,
Back to you.
Professor. Rightly told. Yeah, that's what the human touch always still teachers make a difference. That's why professors like you or teachers, they used to tell they will influence the eternity of the students. We don't know.
Yes.
Teachers influence where it will affect, when it will be. It is never stops.
Yes.
That's why teachers are more important. And we agree with your points. And thank you very much for interesting session. And as you told rightly, Manage is trying to do in this direction. Even coming 21-22, we initiated some new program under our Director General. There are for even UG students to talk about agricultural extension. We are having online programs across the country, all the universities we are trying to cover. And also for MSc PhD students, what are the priorities in agriculture research and how they can do? What are the new methodologies globally people are adopting? How we can do like that? There is a nationwide program we are launching for the PG and PhD students. Apart from that, we also run for the Manage internship program for the PG and PhD scholars, and we also pay for stipend. We used to take care of food, accommodation, research also we are paying for that. And this year onwards, there is advertisement already in online, and we are continuously trying to do that. And as you know, Manage was part of the curriculum development. It is for final approval with ICAR for MSc and PhD students. And
Yes.
already it is with ICR, and almost it's a final approval stage it is there. And we hope something good
Yes.
outcome is coming, and we will see that and how we can collaborate with all the other universities and faculties for their own development. Yes, Professor, something you want to tell?
Well, I just want to conclude, by the
Yeah.
way, I will be very happy to collaborate in the future
Right.
to demonstrate demonstrate my knowledge, to share my experience.
Yeah.
And one last word, by the way, you have this. About
Yes.
6 years ago, we did a book. It is free online. It is free. I
Yeah.
can download it and study it.
That's
All
right.
over India, all over, whoever is watching this.
Yeah.
You know, this is produced by USAID. Just yesterday, Professor Shashidhar sent me an email. The whole research finding, about 110-page report, is
Yeah.
published. If some of you want to know, get a copy, please email us. We will mail it to you. And
Yeah.
the final word is, I am very thankful to you, manage, and the government of India and the Fulbright Commission to fund this research. And I am grateful to the support I received from Professor Shashidhar from day one
Yeah.
till the end of this project.
Right.
Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
want to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor, for
Yeah,
on behalf of manage all the participants. I thank you for all your
yeah,
lively presentation and also important findings. And we hope these findings will be useful for not only India, many more countries like African countries, others, our neighbors in
yes,
South Asian countries. All we'll hope how to
yes.
collaborate for this one further. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
Will do. Yes, thank you.